Hi, and welcome back. This is Paige Downer with Reinvent Her, the talk series where we talk to women about their careers, how they are moving and changing through pivot, change, and relaunch. So today with us, we have Monika Nielsen, your Style Rehabist. I'm so excited for you to hear from her, and I am going to let her tell us a little bit about her story. So go ahead, Monika, talk to us.
Thank you for having me, Paige. I'm so excited. Hello, my name is Monika Nielsen, and I'm your Style Rehabist. What I do is I take all the chaos that's in your closet and wardrobe and bring it into a place of calm so you can get dressed quickly and feel beautiful and confident. So that is my jam. I've helped hundreds of women and a few good men do that. And it's what gets me, waking up and on the computer every morning saying, all right, what happens next? So
that's awesome. So how did you even get into this? What made you realize that this was something that you wanted to do?
Honestly, I've done it most of my life. I call myself a first generation purger for a very good reason. My sweet grandmother is 94 and she still has 55-gallon drums of yarn that she's purchased over the years. In her defense, she still is crocheting, but we have this like farmer depression era mentality steeped really deep in my family. So I understand like the emotional ties, I understand memories. And for whatever reason, I've got this gift of being able to organize very quickly. So really what I do is about 70% counseling and about 20% organizing and 10% mad folding skills. I had 10 years of retail, so I can fold like that and just really walk people through the whys behind why they're keeping things. So I've really done it most of my life. I was much less compassionate in my 30s. So I apologize to all of my friends that I helped back then. It's funny, age will bring about different experiences so that you can honestly, quite frankly, help way more people, which I've loved kind of evolving into.
Now, when you started this, you said in your 30s, were you less compassionate because you didn't have kids at the time, or you were like, okay, I need to save this and I need to save that kind of thing? Or
you know what it was? Yeah. Really. So what I do is so much the inside, right? We cut it open and we figure out why. I joke a lot that your closet is unmet expectations and blocked goals and where dreams go to die, right? Like we all have the genes that were like, no, 10 more pounds.
I think I still have those genes.
Yeah, no, it's for real. My husband used to call them, oh gosh, this is dating us, back in the 90s when jean shorts were a thing for guys. And he had this pair of jean shorts that we had when we met in 93. And then by about 99, right, a first kiddo and all that implies, he's like, I'm going to get back in those jean shorts. I'm like, oh my God, please don't get back on those jean shorts.
Right. They're not good anymore.
Some things can go to die. But really what it was is back then, right? I was in a place where it was a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Just really cocky and sort of brash about, well, you're just one juice cleanse away from getting back in those jeans. Well, at 50, guess what? That's not how things go, right? So I think back then I had people move things along much faster. I think over the last 10 or 15 years, especially, much more compassionate in that there are next goals, right? I do not slash and burn. That is not my philosophy. There are next goals that you can have, but you just need to set it aside. So that's all about the organization side. You can have that 1992 Duran Duran sweatshirt, right? But let's fold it up pretty and let's set it up high so you see it and you smile and it's almost like a display piece. You can't rifle through things over and over and expect to get dressed and feel good about yourself because you've already said no like 7 times. So it starts your day off really horribly.
So tell me about your process, because I would love to hear like how you take your clients through the process.
Yeah. Well, we first have a little sit and chat on the phone and figure out what your goals are. My clients run from age 25 to 60. And we are all over the map. We've got people who have things literally falling down on top of them. And then we also have people that have 40 things and they're moving into a different stage of life. Like clothes were never that big of a deal. But I went from a mom and now I'm a professional fundraiser, and I can't ask someone for $1 million in
Right.
flared jeans and a graphic tee, right? So
Right.
we figure out what your goal is. And then I have a workbook, 15-page workbook, where we walk through a little bit of the mental game that your closet is. And then we also do what you like and why you like it, what you don't like and why you don't like it. A lot of people don't realize they're buying the same thing because they want to be something. Like, I want to be the girl that wears those beautiful silk blouses, but I don't want to be the girl who always goes to the dry cleaner. Okay, well, who wins, right?
Right.
Do you change this habit or do you change this habit? So a lot of our buying is this habit loop. And I go into clients all the time and I'm like, you have 6 shirts here with tags on them and they're all floral. I know I want to be a floral girl, but if you're not a floral girl, stop buying, right? So it's just connecting the
Right.
dots.
Yeah.
And when you write that down, we know it creates that like sticky part in your brain where all of a sudden, next time you get tempted by that $15 shirt on sale at the TJ Maxx, you're like, oh, I'm not a floral girl, remember? Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. So now, have you always done it where you were working with clients, or did you start working with family and friends, or how has this progressed?
Yes. So when I say I've done this most of my life, my actual business, your Style Rehabist, is only 1.5 years old. Like the big girl pants, getting your tax ID number, right? Like figuring out accounting and all of the things. But so yeah, family, friends, I've always been just, again, really quick at organizing. So when people have felt like I am drowning in toddlers and junk, like, oh, let's just go clean it all up. And then it got a little bit bigger, and then people would say, oh, you need to help my sister, you need to help my friends. And I loved it. It was almost like a ministry. It was a way of just me helping other people. And then I realized I could actually have a business.
Yeah.
And sort out my stuff and figure it out and market to a broader group of people.
So your passion really developed into a purpose kind of thing.
1,000%.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now, in terms of, you're saying that this is only about 1 year old. So how, considering the fact that the last 18 months, the world has kind of done this big change, how has COVID did it help you in developing your business, or do you feel like it hindered you a little bit from that professional standpoint as you were building this business over the last year?
Yes, it's interesting. I wonder how long in the future we're going to be like, oh, well, but we just don't count that year.
Right?
Right? Like that was just when you start remembering things,
The
like,
blip on the radar.
Right? Or the year before. So we really had an opportunity, of course, as a family, I think like everybody, to, all right, so we're not driving all over and we're not doing the things with our kids. And my direct sales business was always in person. I never wanted to transition that online. The reason I started it was to drink wine with my girlfriends and play dress up and help women feel beautiful with, sparkly earrings, right? So that at that point I had to make a decision. Do I want to transfer to an online world? No. Do I really want to sit and do something that's bigger? We're on our last kiddo at home that I'm really in charge of their education. We've been homeschooling for 20 years, and our oldest is 4, and the youngest is 9. So we're kind of on the ends.
Yeah.
And I get to think of, my world gets to open up here. And what do I want that to look like? Well, this is something that I love doing. So let's figure it out.
Right. So you said that you also have a side gig. So what do you do? So it sounds like you're actually juggling a lot of things. You're homeschooling,
Yes.
which is that's got to be demanding. You've got a side gig and you're building an actual business here. So how are you building that life work balance? How are you doing that? Do you feel as though there is a secret, or do you feel as though it's more personalized based on what you individually and as a family can handle?
Right. I hesitate. I laughed because the secret, everybody's like, the secret.
Right.
Can you just put that in a pamphlet so I can get it? but that's sometimes the problem is that we look for a secret or a list and then we try to apply it to our lives, and it doesn't work for our family or our space or where we're at. And so I've loved, I read a John Maxwell book probably 25 years ago, and he talked about the glass balls and the rubber balls.
Yes.
And juggling, right? Juggling to me seems a little bit easier than balance, because balance seems really hard. Like you're always doing this, but you can juggle. Okay. I can't really juggle, but I can juggle metaphorically. The things that I know I need to put down or drop, right, are the rubber balls, and the glass balls are, I am first and foremost in charge of my child's education. Like that is where I have been put right now. It is where I'm content. It's where we find joy. It's how our family works. But 2 days a week, he gets to go to a co-op school, and then I am in it. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? I have decided that is, I can be 100% in part-time. And then I can find pockets of time somewhere else.
Right.
So
that's the balance that works for you
yes.
and your family. So that's pretty amazing that
right.
you're able to kind of create this work-life balance for you, for your family, and at the same time bring in, I'm helping with, I have a direct link to my child's education. I mean, that's huge. And that's so impactful, I feel like, you know, especially these days. Now, do you feel more fulfilled now doing what you're doing? And I know that you're saying that you're doing it 100% part-time, but you know, the fact that you're just doing it, do you feel more fulfilled now than you did before, or are you feeling overwhelmed?
Depends on the day. Right.
Yeah.
You know, what's great? We did this with homeschooling too. People would ask us, especially 20 years ago, they're like, oh my gosh, how doesn't that drive you crazy? I'm like, 80-20, 80% of the time, I love every single solitary second. 20%, I want to go screaming willy-nilly down the street. But you're going to get that in every phase, in every space, doesn't matter where you live or what you do, right? So I still consider those like really good odds. Like that's a really good ratio for
Absolutely.
me, is 80-20. And I think, well, I don't think, I know for a fact, I've never worked harder in direct sales or anything else that I have done. For me, education aside, I have never worked harder, and it's never been more exciting.
That's
because it's yours, right? And and the things that kill me, right? Technology that I want to beat my head against, or you're like, I don't care what it takes. Like, can someone just do this for me? I'll pay you whatever you want. Even that's exciting. So like, I do hard things. Wait, like,
I do hard things, and I'm asking somebody to help me do the hard things that I don't want to do.
Yes, absolutely. And when I get super stubborn, I'm like, figure this out. And then I do it, right? Like, what's better than that? It's like your kid, right? Constantly trying to hit the ball. Like once they hit the ball, they're like, yay. You know, you get that for yourself.
Taste of victory, the taste of success is such a big win. Yes. It really is. Like I always found too, like even when I talk to I have 2 sons. So when I talk to them, especially my oldest now, where it's funny when I think back to when I was in college and I was going through all those different pivots, my thing was I was always searching for happiness. So for now, like the one gem that I feel that I can kind of deliver to him is don't seek happiness, seek fulfillment. Because I feel like when you seek fulfillment, the emotional piece of it, whether you're happy or discontent or angry, that emotional roller coaster that we all go through all the time, I feel like the fulfillment piece will kind of sustain you through all the other emotions that you might be feeling along the way. Yeah.
1,000%. Put that on a flyer right now. just start passing it out to every, man, woman, and child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if someone were to ask you and say to you, I'm thinking of making a change, or I'm thinking of making a pivot, or even thinking of making a relaunch, what is your biggest life lesson, or what would you recommend to them to do?
I would say, be humble, accept coaching. Well, maybe find coaching. Well, that would be first.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I mean, you can't You can. I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. You can, but man, like there's this great saying that I love. If you're going to walk through a minefield, follow someone.
Mhm.
Find a coach, right? That can
Yes.
walk you through so you can step in their steps and avoid things. You're still going to have hard things, but you can eliminate part of them. So find a coach, be humble, be teachable, be accountable, dig in, look for this insurmountable frustration as, okay, I have two choices here. I'm either going to push it off and pay someone, or I'm going to dig in and do it. Right.
Right.
Like, and both choices are okay. Sometimes we can get really stubborn and say, I'm going to figure this out if it's the last thing I do. Well, now you've wasted 6 hours
Right.
figuring out how to put a plug in on your website. Or people are like, forget it, I'm just going to keep paying people, which is great. But
Right.
sometimes like doing hard things, right, is kind of what you need to sort of
Right.
soften you up a little bit.
Right. And it helps you with those lessons, like that little taste of failure, and then learning that lesson from that failure, and then knowing that the next time it's going to be a little bit easier because of what you've learned in the process.
Amen.
Yeah,
I know.
I really do. So tell us where can we find you? Now do you now do you only service local clients, or do you do, I mean, now that we've all learned in the last 18 months, Zoom and FaceTime, it's this new whole, it's opened up businesses to a whole new world. So do
Right.
you service people all over or just local clients?
Absolutely. I actually have been coast to coast in the last year. I've had clients from
Wow.
California to Baltimore. So I will travel, right? It's there is a magic to being in person because you get to sit and we touch every single item and
Mhm.
we walk through it. Online is not exactly that way. It's a little bit different, but I still have a one-on-one opportunity that we can work together. Or I also have little tiny groups, 3-on-1 coaching that just takes you through concepts and then really in-depth tips or tricks that you have to implement. So you have to be a little bit more of a self-starter, I should say,
Yes.
willing to be like, all right, let's dig in and do this.
Right.
So I can work all ways. So in your house, online, either with you or just sort of a broad cleanse, clarify, capsulate all the way through to get you to where you need to be so you can do it on your own.
Nice. So tell us how we can find you. Where are you? How can we
Yes.
find you?
Yeah, you can find me at my website, right? www.yourstylerehabist. It's a funny word, rehabist.com. I'm on Instagram, Monika Nielsen YSR, and there's tons, pretty much 3 times a week. I'm giving some sort of very quick win for you on how to do all those 3 things. We're either going to cleanse it or capsulate it. We're going to clarify it. We're going to figure out how to get you to a place where you can get dressed quickly and confident and fiercely beautiful and ready to go. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm so happy that you were able to join us. And all of Monika's contact information is going to be listed below: her website, her IG account, all that information. And if you liked what you heard, make sure that you're hitting subscribe button. And if you really like it so much, make sure you're hitting that bell next to the subscribe button so that every time new content drops, you are able to be notified. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.